Hi everyone, today's tutorial is on the burpee. You see the burpee everywhere and there are certain variations of it, and the idea is to build up to the full burpee, which is a jump and a push-up involved in the movement. The great thing about the burpee is you only need your body weight to do it, and it exercises virtually all of your body, and the other thing that it helps enhance is your agility, your endurance. As you progress, you get stronger, and your cardiovascular fitness, and it also helps with coordination and balance. And your core stability as well. So I mean, there's a bit of everything in there, and then with you adding the push-up, it does work a little bit more on strength as well. So it's a win-win, and like I said, you don't need any equipment to be able to do it, and you can do it anywhere. So the way I'm going to teach it is in 3 stages. Stage 1 is beginner's level, and stage 2 is the more intermediate level, and then stage 3 is the full burpee or the advanced level. So I think it's important just to highlight that if you're new to burpees and new to exercise, then I would start obviously at stage 1, and then you can gradually add to it. It's quite a good way to teach it, just to show you that there's different stages and components to the movement. And the aim is then for it all to flow together as one movement, and for you to be able to do multiple repetitions either within a time frame or within maybe set reps or things, for an example, within a workout. So what I'll do now is I'll demonstrate the full exercise to start with, and then I'll go through each stage and teach you them individually, just so you can then see where you're starting off and how to progress it to the advanced level. So I'll demonstrate now the full burpee. As you can see, there's a lot of different components to it, quite explosive in places as well, so you need quite a lot of stability, especially around the knees and the core, to be able to handle that. So what I'll do is I'll read it all in, and I'll start off with stage 1. I'll demonstrate first stage 1. So, excellent for beginners. You're still getting the heart rate elevated, but you're not adding any jumping movements just yet. So starting with the feet about shoulder width apart, as if you're about to begin a squat, facing forward. Then actually squat down and try to place your hands on the floor. Ideally, you want to have the flexibility to be able to sit right back. From here, either step back into the plank, or if you're more advanced and you have a bit more coordination and core stability, then you can take the weight on the hands and push the feet back. Once you're in this position, it's important not to let the hips sink down. So, like you're about to do a press up. So you want to have an engaged core, so you're not sinking down in the lower back, because you're going to risk actually injuring the lower back in the jump backwards. And at the same time, you don't want to have the hips away in the air. Try to keep things in a nice straight line, and the hands have to be underneath the shoulders, so you're not going to be like this. You want everything neat and in line. From here, when you're ready, then jump back in. Try to jump back in so that your feet are actually flat on the floor. So on your toes from here, flat feet. Toes, flat feet. When you're ready, sit back and stand up. The other version of it showed you there where you're stepping back. The same thing. You want everything in line, the shoulders over the hands, and then you can step in and stand up. And then step back, step in on the other side, and then stand up. If you're having difficulty with your squats, the squatting part, then the more you do the stepping in and stepping out, you will loosen up around the hips. So it can actually be to your advantage to start off at that level first before trying to jump back. And you're still going to be working your core, because even when you're stepping back, you still have to step into the plank and maintain that straight position before stepping back in. So throughout the movement, as it'll make it so much easier. Because if you're looking at the floor, you're more likely to bend over. It's going to make the movement more awkward in the long run. So, and plus it'll prepare you then for the progressions that I'm now going to show you. So to progress the exercise on to the intermediate level, as I call it, is you're now going to do the same thing, only as you're coming up, you're going to add a jump. So I'll demonstrate that part now. So this stage, you really need to be careful and make sure first of all that you're really well warmed up, because you want to have as much protection for your joints, especially if you're preparing to do any jumping movements. If you're overweight, I wouldn't recommend the jump just yet. Just progress or continue with the stage 1 version, and I'll show you how you can progress that safely in stage 3. So, again, starting off in a neutral position as if you're about to do a squat, and at this point then bend at the hips and the knees down, hands flat on the floor beneath the shoulders, jump back, keeping your core tight and jumping in again. Once you get to this stage, instead of just standing up, come up about halfway and jump. When you're landing, make sure you don't just land on the floor. You want to still bend at the hips and the knees as a shock absorber. So either if you're ending the burpees there, then just come up again and stand at that point, or else after the jump, then that's you in position. That's you in position for the next burpee, and so on and so forth. So this is why it's important to keep the head and the shoulders up, keeping the chest up, looking forward whenever you're coming, preparing for the jump, keeping everything up, and keeping your head up and your eyes about you means that you're going to be more aware of where you're going to go. So that's the stage 2.